I think Balin will say, "Daddy, can we go back to the circus again tomorrow, or are we leaving?"
We can go back to the circus, Balin.
I think at that point the kids are gonna say their farewells because it's time for Arabella and Amaya to head back to the spire. And then I guess Balin is just going to start getting ready for dinner or bed. Is this dinner or bed that he's getting ready for?
It'd be closer to bedtime, logistically speaking, considering we spent the whole day like fighting the dragon in the afternoon and all of that.
He's gonna go ahead inside the wagon. Nathan will be walking by, just as an FYI, and Nathan's been kind of avoiding Russo lately. Um, you probably get a your eyes might meet briefly, and Nathan kind of gives him a Mr. Russo, which he normally doesn't call you Mr. Russo.
Prince Sunworth.
He'll just nod and keep walking. It's a little bit of tension there. Just a little bit of tension.
So, was it nice hanging out with Arabella and them?
Yeah, I showed him all the animals, and we all took turns riding the Bronto again. I didn't fall off this time.
No, I'm unbelievably proud of you. So, me, Andrea, Cedric, Pasha, and everyone else had our nice grown-up chat, and before bed, Bale and I think it'd do us some good to get some fresh air and take a nice walk through the woods.
Okay, Daddy.
I'm just gonna assume after like 5 minutes or so, when he knows no one else is really around, he's just gonna find like a tree stump. Balin, you remember when we were packing up in Navarra, right?
Yeah, you told me I could only pack one backpack.
Yep, and we'll be able to get you more stuff, I promise. But the other,
Are we going back?
when all of this is over, I'd love to go back to Navarra. But you remember when I gave you your necklace?
Yeah, and he still has it.
I I think you're ready to hear the rest of it.
Okay. He looks very unsure about this. You're acting strange, Daddy.
It's because this is stuff I never really thought about having to say till now. Phelan, you know what I did for my job, how I argued the law, how I did my best to take you to school and everything and stay within the confines of what is there.
Uh huh. Uh huh. And everybody back home said that you are a hero for that trial, and the Queen herself thanked you for it, and said you've been doing a good job.
Yeah, I've been trying, but for a long time I was I was not a good man.
What do you mean,
I mean, I was a bad man
bad man? But but you put bad people to jail.
before I did that. I kind of deserved to be with them.
I don't understand.
And obviously, the specifics are going to be a little hard, but you remember what we call those bad men that your dad would have to argue against, would go to jail and everything else? Criminals.
Yes.
Uh, I was one for a long time because I thought there was no other way to be.
Did you go to jail?
Uh, no.
So you were a bad person, but you didn't get punished.
I was punished in a different way.
What did you do?
So, where I came from, I grew up among elves, Balin. In most places, the elves have a segregated place that they stay called an alienage, where there's no real expectation because they're already expected to be nothing.
Did Mr. Tyrion live in an alienage?
He lived in a similar situation, but not exact.
Mr. Tyrion's not bad, is he?
No, Tyrion's a good man and a good doctor. When I left that place, I didn't fit in with either, and the only person with me was my brother, your uncle. And I latched onto him because I didn't know what else there could be. And we both fell farther down than we ever thought we would without realizing it. I was tortured mentally by everything that I was a part of, no matter how insignificant, and it took a long time.
Did you steal from people?
When I was first getting into it, I did.
Daddy, you're a thief? At this point, like, Balin starts to back up a little bit. Like, he seems really, really shocked by this, but he backs up a little bit. You always said stealing was wrong.
Because it is. I made excuses. I acted like Donovan.
So if I make excuses too, I don't get to be punished,
No,
right?
that's not how any of this works. I'm saying the reason that I did it was I told myself it had to be done, which was wrong. I got further down and became worse and worse of a bad man until I adopted you, Balin.
Okay.
When you were asking about Aveline and Donick, it was the person that forced them away shares my name because they're my brother.
Uncle Corin?
Yeah, Uncle Corin. We'd done this kind of thing plenty of times before, but the last few before this particular case, I was falling apart. My eyes opened and I became more aware of what I was doing, but I figured I was so far gone to where I couldn't get out. That night, Uncle Corin took a job that involved your parents, and I was to help him.
What did he do? Did he kidnap them? Is that why I haven't been able to see them?
No. He was the one that made them pass.
Made them pass?
He fought them like we did to the dragon.
Daddy, is my mommy and Daddy dead?
I really wish they weren't.
You lied to me? You said they were alive.
No.
You said I could see them again.
Yeah. Yeah, I did lie because I didn't know how to address this.
So you really are a bad man, he says as he backs up. you steal things and you didn't get really punished, and then you lied to me. He's backing up a little bit more.
I paid for what I done in an unorthodox way. I didn't help him with that, but I didn't stop him, which is why I couldn't talk about it. Balin, I love you because you saved me and you showed me what being good had to be. I'm telling you this because the people that came, if you don't want to be around me anymore, they're more than equipped to take care of you. It's just, I can't live with myself anymore not being upfront with you. Balin, I love you, and I don't ever want to see you go. And I know that what I did was wrong, but I've done my best to make sure you had a good home, friends, a proper education, and that my brother would properly pay for what he did. I haven't spoken to him in over 5.5 years, and the last time we spoke was when I sold him out.
He looks dumbfounded, and he's just processing. It's like half of what you're saying seems to be going in one out here and out the other. And he says, "How do I know you're still not lying? I know I lied to you before a few times, but I always told you the truth afterwards. Why did it take you so long to tell me the truth?"
Because I was scared. I was scared if you learned too early or if anything else happened that you were gonna go.
"I want to go back to the wagon." He takes his hammer and he flings it across the woods, and the hammer just hurtles, probably like down a small ravine-ish, and you hear it splash in the water, like on the river. "I want to go to the wagon now."
We'll go. It's just, I'm telling you now, so there's a chance that I can live the rest of my days honest in front of you. I'm sorry. You deserve a better father than me.
He just starts crying, and he doesn't say anything because he doesn't seem to know what else to say.
Where are they?
I think just outside of the grounds of the...
In like a secluded area, yeah.
Yeah, like somewhere near the woods, I think.
Because we're only going to have this one last time to talk, could I interrupt them?
If you want to. Because I think you had told Lesif to keep an eye on the boy anyway. So I'm sure like a crow kind of informed you that something's happening, something's afoot. And so sure, you can go ahead. So you're knocking on something?
Yeah. Like on a tree as I approach. Excuse me.
My elf ears kind of perk up, then I turn. Oh. Hello?
Oh, Russo. And she's going to gather that you told the kid because he's crying and angry.
He's crying, and he's got his hands he's got his arms folded, and he just right now the last thing you hear him saying is, "I want to go to the wagon. I want to go to the wagon now." And I'll say you even witnessed the hammer falling into the river. His toy hammer that looks exactly like Rousseau's, but it's smaller and it probably was his favorite toy, and he just chucked it like it was nothing.
That was quite the throw. Wow, you are very strong.
He is.
Hello, Balin.
At this moment, I'm just gonna basically be kneeling, wrapping my arms around him.
If you try to wrap your arms around him, he's gonna pull away. He doesn't want to be held right now.
I'm going to put my hand on Rousseau's shoulder and give it a little bit of a squeeze. And then I'm going to say, hello, Balin. Do you remember me?
He looks up at you with his watery eyes, and he'll sniffle and he'll say, "Yes."
And she'll lower herself down so she's sitting on the ground, and she'll go, I wanted to give you a present.
A present? He asks. He looks curious. Not still upset, but curious.
Yes. Come here, dear.
He'll walk towards you.
And she'll take a silk, wipe his eyes. There you go, dear. She'll pull some chocolate out of her pouch.
His eyes light up. I love chocolate, he says.
I know you do. I know. I was told by a friend once that chocolate is always best if you share it with people you care about.
That sounds true.
We would always split each piece and eat them and giggle all night while we were playing.
He's still eyeing the chocolate.
She's going to hand him a piece that she'll break off. Makes everything feel better. You're welcome, sweetheart.
He'll smell it. It smells good. And he'll pop it into his mouth and just start chewing slowly, very slowly.
And she's going to break off another piece, and she goes, maybe we should share with your daddy too.
I don't know. Whenever I do something bad, I don't get dessert. So I don't know if Daddy should get dessert either.
That is a good punishment, she's going to say. I can tell by your face and by your dad's face that you're both very sad right now, am I right?
I'm not sad, I'm angry.
Oh, yes, I can see that too. Why are you angry, dear?
Because Daddy lied to me.
Sometimes parents do that.
I wanted to be just like my daddy, because Daddy's a hero. And he's a good guy. And he puts the bad people away.
It's a very good thing.
But now he says he's one of the bad people.
That does make it difficult to know what to do, doesn't it?
He'll nod.
Well, sometimes. I'll tell you, when I was younger, I was not really a good person either. I did a lot of bad things because I was told I had to, or I was punished. And I feel bad about that every day.
So you were sorry?
Yes, I was very sorry. And it was very hard, but eventually I found purpose elsewhere, and she's going to be eyeing Russo while she's speaking. And I felt I was able to be a good person when I let go of all that bad, and I found something to love and to move on with.
Did you? Did you also kill people too?
Yes. Yes, I did. For a long time. I fought in an arena, and it was meant to kill or die. And it was horrific, but yes, I did. I've killed many people.
But killing is bad.
I sure did. It's very bad. It's the worst thing that you can do. Or at least one of.
When Daddy was telling me about my other mom and my other dad, I always imagined what it'd be like if I finally met them. And I looked forward to that. And I would sometimes pretend what I would say or pretend what I would do. And now it's not going to happen.
Oh dear, it can still happen. She'll tuck his hair behind his ear and just, it's not something that you do while you're awake. It's not something you can't walk up to your mother and see her pretty red hair. Your mother had red hair.
She did?
Beautiful red hair. You won't be able to see it while you're awake, but when we dream at night, we go to the Fade, and that is where the dead wait for us at the Maker's side.
I can talk to them?
Yes. And you can, before you go to bed, you can pray and tell them what you want to say to them in your dreams, and then when you dream, you'll see your mom and your dad, and it's watching over you, dear.
Balin looks a little embarrassed / guilty, and he says, "We haven't been to the chantry in a long time."
And that's gonna change right now.
It's all right. It's not something that you need to do in the chantry all the time. Your parents are there. They care, but more than that, they always wanted you to meet us, the Guardians. Always meant to, because we are also family.
He looks up at you and he'll nod a little bit. And in that moment, I'm going to say that the wind picks up a little bit. It's a nice little breeze. And it's carrying with it like some leaves, and very Pocahontas colors the wind. It's carrying along some leaves, and along with it is this stream of yellow flowers. And all of you can smell in the air
Marigolds.
copper marigolds. Copper marigolds.
Oh, Aveline. Your mother was very brave, and your father was quite the fighter as well.
Do you know more about them?
Yes, I do.
Can I ask you questions?
Of course you can.
Did mom and dad like chocolate also?
I'm sure they did. Your mother was very strong and very strict. She had the softest heart. She was ooey gooey on the inside.
Like cookies.
Yes, like cookies. And your dad was just a sweetheart. He just was. He was funny too.
He's gonna start to cheer up a little bit, and he's just gonna ask you questions.
Yeah,
just random questions about his parents, and
I would answer until it's bedtime.
yeah, I'm sure at some point you'll get to the wagon, and he'll look towards Rousseau, and he still seems upset at Rousseau, but not angry at him. But he's gonna look at Andrea and say, "Can you tuck me in?"
Yes, of course, dear. And she'll say, "Let's get you into your jammies straight away." Bed.
I'm gonna say that you'll be able to tuck him in. And is Rousseau like staying outside of the cart at this moment, or I don't know what he's doing?
I would have let Balin just have the space because he's gonna need time more than anything.
And eventually, Andrea will emerge from the wagon.
You didn't have to do that.
I think I did. We're going to send me a letter. We've talked a little bit about it. She's a good person. You'll probably like her. And she can keep a secret better than most. She also knew Alistair better than any of us, including even Theo, who... That's not my story to tell, but she knew her for the longest, at the very least. So I'm sure they'll have some sort of kinship.
I think that would be for the best.
Russo, we are not our sins.
I know. And it's taken me till now to see that.
I believe that there isn't a single adventurer alive who has a past with that is not checkered.
Yeah, the world seems to be very ickered with compromising states.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Kirkwall back in 922.
Excuse me for saying, but you're a mixed race Cunarian elf, yes?
Uh, yeah, I am.
Were you raised in the Alien Age?
Uh, by my mother, yes.
This could not have been easy. Kirkwall's Alien Age is famous for being one of the worst.
Well, I always had somber appreciation that at least in the alienage I was seeing the same until my horns came.
It isn't about what you've done, it's about what you do. And that boy is pure and good and done well with him so far.
Thank you. I've done my best. It's just, like you said, I'm not the ideal person anyone would have chose had they gotten the choice.
Well, his parents, I'm sure, wouldn't have picked the killer of the killer's brother. Yeah, that. I'm sure that wouldn't have been their first choice. No.
At least I'm not the killer.
Mm. No, we would have killed you if you were.
That would have been completely fair at that point.
I'm okay with this. I don't know how the other guardians are going to feel. Cedric is okay with this so long as you keep your oath.
From one Navaran to another, I will.
I expect you will keep us updated on his education.
Yeah, we can figure something out. He was attending public school in Navarre until we started traveling with these guys, and I've been trying to figure something out.
Very good. It's going to be difficult on him when he's an adult. There's not much freedom in being a guardian. Duty first, you understand?
Yeah, and I'm thinking that might have been the reason I hit it alongside everything else too, is that when we grow up, we lose something that we never get back, and I didn't want him to lose it before it was time.
I agree with that, but I always question raising a child with too much freedom if you're going to strip it from them when they're an adult. It's cruel.
Yeah.
But he still needs to be a child. Just maybe start focusing a bit on duty, and so he understands. And when Violetta arrives, she can help him understand the importance of what his duty is and why it's so important that he does it.
I agree. I've done the best I can, but there's always room for improvement, and in his case, I'm thankful to have someone that can help me with this. I was thinking I was just gonna have to show him the chakras and be like, this is kind of similar, but we're gonna have to figure it out.
No, I think it would be better if he's at least taught the Guardian stuff by the Guardians, just because we know what it is.
And I'm gonna make sure I always have time just for him from here on.
He's going to forgive you, you know.
Yeah, still doesn't make it any less painful in the moment.
No, but he will. He's 6 and you're his dad.
Thank you. You didn't have to let me keep him, and I'm gonna make sure you didn't make the wrong choice.
You'd better. Talking about killing yourself once he comes of age, that's the most ridiculous thing.
No, I wasn't going to kill myself.
Very upset. No, you wanted me to do it.
Well, no, I said if you were going to take me, then that was the prerequisite. Rather greeting on my part, I know, but we're past this. I know better. Guess I won't need this anymore.
Also, your only purpose should not be your kid, because when he grows up and leaves the nest, you're going to feel so lost. You should just be part of it.
Yeah. I agree completely. All right.
Have a good night.
And before you go,
Mm.
I'm going to take the two-handed sword I've been keeping from home back from my old days. I'm going to hand it to Andrea. I don't need this anymore, and that's the people who my brother were associated with as I point to the sigil.
I'll find them.
See you around.
See you around. Make sure you, in the deep roads, you find the other guardians.
I doubt.
Good night.
And I just want to say, as Andrea walks off, after a little bit, Darathan would just walk up and just stand next to Rousseau, and he would just simply say, "Have you found your hope?"
For the first time, I think I can say I have.
Then we are alike once again.
Yeah, outside of me not being dead and, you know, you.
True enough. You look quite better than I do.
These horns really don't match my hair all that well.
Well, I don't really think the tentacles give me any marks, so.
It's unique, if nothing else, though.
I suppose that's that.
Next morning rolls around. Out of curiosity, Leon, what time do you normally wake up in the morning, would you say? What time would Leon normally wake up?
Oh man, last night was pretty late and pretty heavy, so he's probably gonna sleep in a little bit. But since the walls of the wagon aren't very thick, he'd probably wake up a little after sunrise.
After sunrise. Okay. So like 8-ish?
8, 9-ish.
Okay. At 7 o'clock in the morning, you're still asleep. There's a pounding on your wagon door, and Tyrion, I'm assuming, is there as well. I don't know if Tyrion is up that early in the morning.
He's early at like 6 a.m. sharp.
Okay.
He's already awoken.
Oh, no.
He's probably like.
I know who this is.
He's collecting.
Pound, 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 pound.
I go up to the wagon door, open it. I kind of open it. Yeah.
Yes, I am here to see Leon Faust, and you see before you a very loud Sir Garrison.
When he says yes, you just hear a thump as Leon falls out of the bed. Like, oh no.
Tyrion is a little bit blind because he's wearing like Templar armor. Is he wearing like full Templar armor?
Yeah, he's wearing Templar armor.
The sun blinded him. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Leon, you have a visitor.
Oh.
And
Okay.
Up and at him, Mr. Faust.
It was late. I killed the dragon yesterday. It's fine.
Come on, he says. We have much to do. You may be used to being on your own for the last 3 months, but I have to tell you right up front, Mr. Faust, that I run a tight ship around here.
Sir, I'm also his bunkmate. Who are you?
Oh, excuse me. My name is Sir Buford Garrison. I am one of the Templar lieutenants sent here by the Knight Vigilant himself to be Mr. Faust's handler on this excursion.
So you're his ward.
I am. And you sleep in the same room together.
Turn Seedoff. I'm the doctor.
Ah, I see. Well, I'm sure we will be requiring your services. Hopefully not as much, however.
I'm also
Are you
Leon's
planning
good
on
friend.
hurting me?
Also, just to give it up, I'm Leon's good friend. Anything you do oddly, I'm keeping his back on this. Sorry.
You can do whatever you'd like, as long as it does not go against my orders as a Templar. Because if you do get in my way, I'm afraid I will not accept that. Do I make myself clear? Mr. Seedoff, you said?
Seedoff. And yes, very sunshine clear. And are you gonna wear that armor every time because that's gonna blind us?
Yes, I am. It is part of my uniform. As a doctor, I would think that you would understand that. Uniform is a sign of respect. So respect my words, Mr. Seedov.
Sure. Sure. He says, and he's just going to kind of look over at Leon and he looks at Leon. He like Tyrion has like bags under his eyes. He looks tired. He doesn't want to get into any shit right now. That's for sure.
All right, all right. Leon sort of pulls himself together. Do you want some breakfast, Sir Garrison?
Yes, in due time. First, you and I are about to do some meditation exercises.
Oh boy. There's a creek a little down there in the woods. I'm guessing.
Excellent. I think that'll be fine. We must make sure that we get a head start in the morning to get your wits about you, your wills. We want to make sure that there are no abominations erupting in your head anytime soon.
Oh boy, my favorite thing.
Get dressed. I will see you outside in 5 minutes. No later, please.
That's fine. He just sort of throws some stuff in his bag, throws some clothes on. Let's get this over. I mean, let's enjoy the morning.
I say, Leon, just get better dressed. You don't look like you're gonna be training, and believe me, if this man's gonna train you until you're dead, you gotta be good for this. I'm his doctor. I'm a doctor. I have to make sure he's in fit shape, right?
Yeah.
Give us.
I love how Kevin's like
Give us.
This is
Give
great.
us.
Me
Give us a
too.
moment.
Me too.
Give us a moment, Sir Garrison.
Sir Garrison's already out.
I
Left.
I close the door. I go up to Leon. You're gonna leave Pyrus here. You're not gonna take him out when there's a freaking Templar here.
What? I heard that. Is that?
Pyrus, do you want Leon dead? And you want to be with the Templars on your back?
Oh, I don't want Leon dead. I certainly want somebody else dead. Let me at him. Let me at him. Release the book. Release the book, Leon. You know you want to.
We're gonna put you back in your special place. Leon sort of holds up the floorboard a little bit.
He wants to teach you some lessons. I have a few lessons to teach him.
Ah, yes, but the best lesson is patience.
I have been patient. You've kept me in here all by my lonesome with Mr. Bunn while you were off gallivanting in Orlais.
What?
And you're still keeping me on the bench?
You're supposed to plan with Mr. Bunn. Mr. Bunn's been trying to, figure out a good situation and how to plan this out so that we can have our revenge.
Just get him down there. We don't have time to discuss this right now. He needs to be up and ready. Just look, Pyrus. If you want the boy Leon to be good, he needs to keep his secrets. Like he smacks, he like closed the floorboard, and he's gonna look at Leon. And you need to get yourself in top shape because that man's gonna kill you no matter what. not in the
boy.
dead sense, but more in the sense of your energy and your stamina is going to be drained until you're out.
Yes, I have a few tricks up my sleeve. We'll see if anything works, though. I do agree that this is not going to be fun.
Okay. All right, then you better get ready. I open the door for him, and as he leaves, before he kind of leaves, oh, and here I'm gonna pick out my water skin. I'm gonna like splash water in his face as he leaves.
Oh no.
Should wake you up.
I'll say, Pasha, you're awake and you're on your way to the washroom or something, and this Templar, who you remember, Sir Garrison, because you spoke with him before, so he actually recognized you and says, "Oh yes, my apologies, madam. You are Pasha, correct?"
Yes, I am, and Sir Garrison, wasn't it?
Yes, I am Sir Garrison. He says, "Good to see you again, madam. May I ask you, who, by the way, is in charge here? Is it you?"
Oh, that is very kind of you to say, but no, that would be Master Ignaldo. His carriage is over there.
Ah, thank you. Thank you very much, my good madam. And with that, he will walk over. Mr. Garrison, such a nice man.
I think Pasha's gonna, because he was outside Tyrion and Leon's bunk, so she's gonna, knock on the door to just,
I think when you open the door, the door's open, and you probably saw me just splashing water on Leon's face.
And she's gonna look at it and say, "That nice Templar man I met the other day is here. What's he doing here?"
To torture me, specifically.
Oh dear.
No, not in the literal sense. Just the
No, very
exercise.
literally. He is going to torture me until I cannot move.
But he seems so pleasant.
As pleasant as a shared murderer can be.
He wears his armor in broad daylight every single day, and he's gonna keep it until he says, "I think he's gonna be killing him."
Wait.
Well, yes, of course he wears them.
Oh, I'll direct him. Did you see the Templar with the whole armor suit, bright?
I kind of lean over and look, and maybe I see Garrison as he passes by. I look at Leon. See one of the nice ones. Shit.
Very no nonsense. Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's fine.
I think I'm gonna be seeing you in the med bay much more, Leon, and on an actual medical bed.
If it gets that way, wonder if he'll let me cast spells.
Ah, there you are, Mr. Faust. You hear Sir Garrison call out. Well, is that what you're going to be wearing for your morning exercises?
It's what I always wear. It's, just...
Sorry, I'm gonna make a stealth check real quick. Okay.
Well, all right. So here is your schedule, he says, as he hands you a document, and it's basically a very step-by-step schedule. This is when you eat. This is when you sleep. This is when you go to the bathroom. This is etc. 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 And you can see right at the very top, you've got your mental exercises, then you have your physical exercises. And he says, I think that while we're still in Orlais, we're going to take advantage of all the staircases here. And we'll do your staircase regiment immediately after. That will probably prepare you for breakfast.
Sir Garrison, though I must thank you for this wonderful list of schedule. Isn't it a communication between both the ward and the protector on how we're going to continue our working relationship, as well as, this is a research adventure, not a, training adventure.
He says, now, Mr. Faust, the Night Vigilant assigned me to you. And because of that, he is entrusting me to oversee your expedition the way that I see fit in order to keep your mind and body in tip-top shape for what is to come. I heard that you fought very bravely against the dragon earlier yesterday, which I find very admirable, so I just am trying to ensure that the next time, when we don't have the Knight Vigilant and his wife with us, we will be able to continue with our success.
Though I do understand, and I do thank you for your concern in this matter, I have been doing mostly heavy lifting in research and accumulating knowledge about both flora and fauna in order to help A, fight the dragons, and B, see if I can assist in other circumstances.
Yes, well, that was then, and this is now. So I recommend that you adapt as soon as possible. Oh, and yes, and you will refer to me as Sir Garrison, sir, from now on.
Sir Garrison, sir, or Sir Garrison, period?
Sir Garrison, sir.
Cool.
Well, how about you read these books on dragons so you can be better equipped, and we'll have a quiz about it later today.
I'm sorry, that's not how this works. I am overseeing you, you are not overseeing my
But
training.
how are you going to fight dragons successfully and, worst comes to worst, you are caught on unawares about these certain types of dragons? It would be very beneficial for you, especially with, well, everything that's been going on.
Tut, Mr. Faust, we're already behind schedule. If we don't get to your exercises immediately, we're going to have to skip your breakfast. Now, we wouldn't want that, would we?
Well, I wouldn't be able to do any of these exercises if I didn't have my breakfast now, isn't that?
Not with that attitude. And he goes over and starts to lead you towards where you said the river area, where you said that you would be. A good place for you guys to have your morning routine.
Oh boy.
Tyrion, just, as he sees him leave, he just goes,
Is he
I think we
gone?
might... Oh, he's gone. He's
Oh,
gone.
good.
I think we might need to call upon Rousseau to see if there's any funeral fees.
I like to imagine Pasha's just kind of frown at you. I really don't understand what you're saying. He seemed like such a helpful man. He made him a schedule and everything.
Yes.
It's less the schedule and more the. You know what? You probably approve of everything you just did.
Pretty much.
In that moment, as soon as Sir Garrison leaves, one more individual approaches the caravan. And this person carries himself in a much different way. It is a woman that looks like this. Oh. She is dressed very fashionably. Her sapphire blue feathers on the back of her coat are almost like peacock feathers. And holding clutched around her arm, very Lulu from Final Fantasy X like, is an adorable looking voodoo doll of sorts. And she just kind of surveys the area, and you can clearly see in her hand is a bracer with a ruby on it. And she says, "Excuse me, but is there a Mr. Rousseau Alren about?"
Yes, my lady, his cabin is over that way.
"Ah, thank you, my good sir." And with that, she will she'll flash you a little bit of a smile, and she will saunter her way to the wagon. Is Rousseau in the wagon still with Balin, or is he out and about?
I feel like he'd be in the wagon just tidying up and like looking over whatever paperwork he has while Balin's sleeping in.
There'll be a polite tap, not nearly the pounding that Sir Garrison did. Polite tap on the door.
I'm just gonna get off the desk, brush myself off, and then just open the door. Hello?
Good morning. Are you Mr. Rousseau Alren?
Yes, I'm Rousseau Vega Alren.
Pleased to meet you, dear. Princess Violetta, at your service. And she holds out her hand, with a bracer on it.
You must be the tutor coming to help me.
Yes, she says. And I assume that your son is in there as well?
He is. He's still sleeping at the moment, but thank you for coming.
I see, she says. Well, I don't want to disrupt his normal routine. That would be a very ill thing of me to do. So I suppose at some point when he's washed up and had a good bite to eat, perhaps the two of us can get more acquainted together.
Sounds perfectly fine by me.
In the meantime, she says, perhaps while we're waiting, perhaps you and I can get to know each other, since I'm assuming we're going to be spending a lot of time, the three of us at least.
Yeah, why not? I'll start by showing you around.
I would love that, thank you. And she looks around and she kind of takes a deep breath, and she says, caravans. How I've missed this.
Typical practice for you?
Back before I was a guardian, I actually traveled by caravan as well. It's, I always found it to be a very freeing sort of excursion. Road trippy, almost.
Can't say I've ever thought about it like that. Then again, I'm used to being tied up in an office most of the time.
Oh, she says, you're an office man. What do you do?
I was a law speaker of Navarra.
You were a lawyer. My, Mr. Alren, I didn't realize you were such a successful person behind the desk.
You flatter me far too much. I was just a working man, nothing more, nothing less.
I think you should give yourself a little bit more credit. From what I was told, you also had quite a hand in slaying that dragon in Orlais yesterday.
If it weren't for Rosie, I would not have done what I did.
I'd like to believe that some of that probably has rubbed off on your son as well. In which case, his training will, I'm sure, be as smooth as very well possibly can be.
I see no reason to disagree with any of what you've said.
So, I guess the first thing I should probably ask about your son is, what exactly is his favorite thing to do outside of, well, schoolwork?
The boy has a massive kinship with animals that's blossomed into something quite adorable, actually, in this carnival.
Really? Many children have that sort of interest. Alright, I can possibly work with that. And with that, I guess you'll continue showing her around.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So, I'm presuming this is the night before. So after Cedric has spoken to Detham and Tyrion about Lyrium, that conversation, Pasha was kind of waiting like across from the big top, just waiting for him to come out. And as soon as he does, she'll give him like a nice 5 seconds of nothing before she's like, right, I'm in.
Finally. Quiet.
Mr. Ashwood.
Oh, yes.
We met briefly. I punched your wall.
Ah, yes.
Pasha.
Pasha. Sorry. I meet so many people.
Oh, it's no bother. I don't think I ever gave my name. I'm sorry to intrude upon you after everything that happened in there, and I realize that now may not be a good time for what I am asking. But I hear that you are planning on dismantling the Rite of Tranquility?
Yes, that is the idea.
And if I am no Templar, you have no reason to share this knowledge with me, but I would ask what you intend on doing with it afterwards.
With the knowledge on how to make people tranquil, you mean?
Yes.
Destroy it.
Before you destroy it, and please, I can gather what you're going to say on impulse, but please let me explain my thinking. Would you at all be willing to give it to the Kunari?
I've heard tales of what the Qun does to their mages.
Not just their mages. I don't suppose your wife would have told you about Sargamek.
Vaguely.
It is a potion. It can be drank by anyone, mage, non-mage, doesn't really matter. I believe it dissolves part of the brain, but I am no Ashkari, I am no scholar. I am not entirely sure what it does, but what I do know is that the after effect is a group of people who make the Tranquil look, quite frankly, riotous in comparison.
And so you think this would be a substitute for what Sarkamek does?
Yes, for the mages at least. The Virath Bas, to be perfectly honest, they terrify me. They move in ways that are not quite right for an everyday person to look at, if you want to call it that. They are very stilted and not there. And I would see them... I would see Sarkamek replaced altogether. But the Qun requires baby steps.
How are you towards magic users?
Me
You were traveling
personally,
with a few. Yes, personally.
I don't understand what they do, but they have caused me no harm. And Leon is a remarkable healer. As I said, I don't understand what they do. I would prefer magic be kept as far away from me personally as possible. But as long as they aren't doing anything... What's the word I'm looking for? Dangerous? Overtly dangerous, harmful to other people? I'm not entirely sure if I'm making myself understood, but... I don't see anything too wrong with them.
All right. Pasha, you said, right?
Yes.
I'll consider it. You've already changed my opinion on destroying it. But giving it to the Qun, I'm sure you've met my wife. And talked to my wife. I know some of the actions that she has taken. But it is not solely my decision to give you said information. I have a lot of pull, but I cannot make such a decision just by myself. There are a few more higher-ups that I must speak to, but I will consider it.
That is all I can ask, and I thank you for listening.
While I have you, there's a woman coming.
Yeah, okay.
She's going to be traveling with you. Tutoring Balin.
Mhm.
Her name is Violetta. Princess Violetta, she goes by. How do I say this? Her magic is very weird and creepy. Some would say unsettling.
Okay.
She is not a danger. But if you see her cast magic, just be prepared. Because I was not. And it freaked me out at first.
Thank you for the warning. I will most definitely bear that in mind.
Also, dangerous magic. Always look out for blood. Blood is a very potent source, and it is extremely dangerous. Anyone who uses blood to fuel spells is extremely dangerous.
I agree.
Just for your knowledge.
Thank you.
Rip Leon.
Cedric
Leon.
sprinkling in some drama.
So that's ready the crucifixion for Leon.
I mean, might as well put Dartham up there with it because, like, he colluded. So
Yeah.
You know,
And I have to
things
go.
are doing.
Sarah's like, I already gave you guys Sir Garrison, so I stuck it in. I'm just gonna twist it a little bit now.
Things were going great, and then we had the session with both Kevin and Kimberly, and then things just
like, we were doing fine, guys. We had plans. We were gonna do stuff, and then you guys just gave me a cure, and you made Rousseau feel good about himself, and just messed it up.
Dump spies everywhere.
All of those kumbaya moments are gone now. No more kumbaya moments.
Be afraid, Pasha. Be afraid.
I was just going to say, Pasha, before she leaves Cedric, I think she just said, the two half Kunari girls in the tower, they're yours?
Indeed.
I've got to say, your eldest was remarkably brave facing that dragon.
There's a fine line between brave and foolish, but
I quite agree. She went down very quickly.
10.
Maya's going to be in trouble when Daddy gets home.
And thank you for informing me on this matter. I will be sure to correct it.
I would teach her to run. There may not always be a person on a griffin to pull her out.
Did you happen to see a woman with them? She carries a spear, same armor as myself.
Yes, the dragon sort of blew her off of the tower, and then she had to climb back up. As she seems to have a lot of leg strength, but not much arm strength.
I'll have to figure out a way to correct that. Thank you.
Handstand walking up and down the stairs.
Handstand walking up the stairs. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Run up the stairs with your hands.
Backwards.
Perfect.
Anyway.
So, if you guys want to do a farewell send-off.
Well, seems you two need to leave, don't you? So you three are gonna leave now? I imagine you have other business you must take care of.
Always busy. Where to next for you?
Most likely, the deep roads.
There might be somewhere else to go, but we'll see. It depends.
Seems a lot of things are going down in the deep roads. It'd be nice to get to the bottom of it.
My last reports from the Grey Wardens are good. And, the Legion, they handle their own reports. I don't know about them, but they're always around.
Yeah, I'm good friends with a few of them. I'm sure we can manage.
Not a fan of the deep roads, but I hope you all have safe travels.
You as well, Sir Ashwood. Lady Ashwood.
May the winds be with you, gods and whoever else you believe in. Sir and Lady Ashwood, and he looks over at Hugh kind of questionably, and Mr.
Just Hugh, Mr. Sidov. Just Hugh.
He nods.
I think Pasha would just and not quietly, but I think she'd give both of the Ashwoods an nod and say, "Thank you for considering what I have said, both of you."
Of course.
Of course. And she'll look at Cedric like, "What did you do? Promise her."
He's avoiding eye contact from his wife. He's like, of course.
Mr. Alren, Hugh turns to you. It was I who applied the enchanted paint that hid the mark from your child's hand. Do you have any interest in reapplying it?
I do, but I'd like to consult him and Violetta first.
Violetta will probably pipe up and say, if I was being completely honest, I think that if we're concerned about the safety of this child, perhaps reapplying it is the smartest thing to do. But that is just my personal recommendation.
So you're a magic painter?
I am, he says. I am but a simple artist.
So I'm trying to think, wasn't that paint last time?
Well, I don't see any bad that can come of it, and I think it would be nice insurance for everyone if you did.
Very well. And again, he will take his giant paintbrush from the back of his, from his back. He will take out some lyrium paints and he will reapply the mark on Balin's hand. Balin seems very, surprised by that. And he rubs it and he says, I don't feel anything. And Hugh says, that's right, you won't. It'll naturally wear off, unless I dismiss it. Okay, is what Balin says. So I guess you will all start to pack up as the caravan will ride away. And as the caravan drives away, Andrea, one of the windows of the caravan opens up, and you'll see Merchant Narika giving you a wave. She does give you.
As they go away, with the exception of where Cedric and Andrea are standing, rain will slowly start to come back on, and it's gonna follow them. So they'll have a clear, dry path. But as they keep moving forward, it follows them.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
And she's gonna be like, as they're going by and everything's cutting out, she's going to be like, so you knew who that was, right? And then it'll cut.
Yes. Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was Archon Radonis, right? He's our homeboy.